What is up, guys? Welcome to this special Sunday morning stream for some of you, afternoon, maybe a little early evening for some of you as well. Guys, we are going to give this a second shot here. We attempted this stream yesterday, so if there was some confusion, I apologize. I ended up postponing yesterday's stream due to internet connectivity issues. Just part of the deal when you live out in the country now. So it definitely pained me to have to do that. I'm really hoping this stream will go off without a hitch. Right now we seem to be doing okay on the bitrate issues, but it's a Sunday afternoon. Let's take a little flight down to Honduras, shall we? We're going to take the Toliss A319 beta, which I imagine it's going to be dropping to public here very soon, because I really haven't found any bugs with this version. So hopefully Toliss will be updating relatively soon for you guys. We are in Cancun, Mexico right now, so that's where we're same flight as yesterday. We're just actually going to try to get off the gate this time. Shout out to a couple of you guys joining me this afternoon. Deep Mental, what is up, man? Finally a stream when I'm not at work. Good to see you here, man. Hope you enjoy it. Sit back, relax, dude. Hot Shot, going to be doing some homework in the background. Awesome, man. Glad to have you aboard. Cam A321, what's going on, sir? Good to see you here. Dougal McTavish, my friend. That is a nice little blue name tag to see there in the chat, man. I haven't seen you around in a while. Dougal, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Hope you and your family and all your loved ones are well as well. So good to see you here, Dougal. Christian, Adrian, what is up, man? Good to see you. James Monks, Fubar, Mark Smith, Anthony Anderson, please, dear God, let this work. Anthony, we're not going to spend too much more time chit-chatting around here. We're going to get this show on the road, because I do want it to work just as bad as you. So with that being said, guys, let's hop into our cockpit here of the Toliss A319. Now, I do have the airplane sitting on kind of a pseudo turnaround state. So where I work, it's kind of common to come in and find the airplane actually connected to the ground power, with the aiders either aligned or off. It doesn't really matter. Whenever you do a crew change, or a crew swap, I should say, you're supposed to do another alignment anyway. So I just have them aligned, but it's pretty common to see batteries off, the ground power on, airplane just sitting here. So, you know, if something were to go wrong, the APU would, or I'm sorry, if the external power dropped off, everything would go dark. So really no harm to the airplane to leave it this way. You wouldn't want to leave it overnight this way, I don't think, but this is kind of a pseudo turnaround state. So let's go ahead and wake everything back up here. We'll get our batteries on. We are connected to external power. We'll get our nav light on. We'll turn on our crew supply oxygen. We'll get the ground control push button on here. Let's do a fire test here or two. We'll do 1, engine 2, and I actually got to do, we might have to do some emergency videos here this week, because I got my emergency sim on, I got 3 sims this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, that's tomorrow, actually. Oh, wow. All right, so let's see. That's good. Coming down the overhead, everything else looks good here. Pack flow low, that's fine for right now. Going up the right side, that looks good. Back down here. So the airplane is pretty much, I have the flight plan in there already since we loaded that up from yesterday. So let's just go ahead and load the actual passengers. Since we have a full flight from yesterday, or we had a delayed flight from yesterday, let's go ahead and see if we can't fill it up today. We're going to take a full load of passengers, 145 people. We'll distribute those people evenly, and we'll take a solid load of cargo, about 4,000. That's a pretty heavy 319. What are we looking at? Zero fuel 125 and 31.6. That's pretty heavily loaded 319, 4,000 pounds. All right, let's do that. What the heck? Let's load that. We need 11.8 on the fuel, so we will load that. That gives us 125.9 and a CG of 31.6. So because pretty common thing that you see too, especially if you're a commuter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have one flight that gets delayed or gets canceled, then the next morning it's just completely sold out, overbooked flight, and good luck getting home if you're commuting, or good luck getting on the plane in general if you're a standby. So we're kind of simulating that today. This flight canceled for maintenance. Let's see. Flaps 1, Toga thrust, those would be our speeds, and what was I looking for here? Or our block fuel, 11.8. That is what we have on board. That's what we need. Make sure we get everything with our current winds and stuff. Real Sticky, what's in this new beta? We're going to go over that again once we get up into cruise. I'll just throw it up. There's actually a huge list of little bug changes. Now, I will admit, a lot of the little bug fixes and stuff are things that are done in subsystems of the Airbus, which the more I play around with this 319, the more I'm realizing how much systems are actually modeled. I'll show you guys an example of that real quick here. Let me finish this box. So 36 minutes extra gas, that looks good. And our speeds, we're going to use Toga thrust, of course, 135, 135, and 139. So when I was looking at the changelog and I saw a lot of this was V1, or I'm sorry, engine failure, bug fixes, and ECAM fixes. I actually did a V1 cut in the airplane yesterday evening just to kind of see how everything went, and I was pretty impressed. So I want to show you guys a couple things here. All right, so we got our perf data set. Everything looks good on that page. Let's go ahead and get the fuel pumps on. We'll get the APU fired up. Now I want to show you guys something as we let that prime. So, oh, well, I got the APU page on there now. Oh, no. Okay, so this is an accurate representation here. When the FADEC, when you're sitting at the gate and the engines have not been run, or there's been no power to the FADEC box, over time, I forget what the amount of minutes is, that you will actually get amber X's here on your engine indicating page, and that is absolutely correct. Now, how would you be able to check? Let's say you wanted to come down here, and I believe there should be some amber X's here as well. I'd have to double check, but if you wanted to check something with your FADEC and it was powered off, there's a couple ways you can repower it. You can move the start selector to ignition start. Or, one thing that I was messing around with yesterday that I didn't even know was functioning was the maintenance panel way up here on the overhead. So there's a couple things that are actually modeled here. You have FADEC ground power supply, and you also can turn on your blue hydraulic pump override. So there's been a few instances, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this out here, where I've actually had to use this under the supervision of maintenance. So in no normal circumstance would you actually use this panel. This is why it's called the maintenance service panel, for a reason. That maintenance will come up here and do something. But let's go ahead and say we want to power up the FADEC for engine 1. There we go. And it's actually simulated here on the Toliss. And you can power up engine 2 FADEC up ground power without moving that ignition start switch to ignition. You can also turn on your blue electrics. So I wanted to extend the flaps and do some hydraulics test yesterday, and I found that indeed this is actually modeled as well down here on the ground. So we have the blue pump override. The only way you can pressurize your hydraulics, your blue hydraulic system, is by use of an electrical system. When it's not running, you're not going to get any pressure, right? Well, on the ground we can use this blue pump override. Check that out. Now I can turn on the yellow electric pump and pressurize all 3 hydraulic systems on the ground without an engine running. That's pretty cool. So just thought I'd show you guys that, just some little extra eye candy that makes you understand that when you're flying this airplane, you're flying more than just an airplane, you know, from A to B. There's actually systems and subsystems modeled on this aircraft. Let's take a listen to the BSS sound pack here. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Mickey30 says V1 going up to DCA from Atlanta for the river visual. Awesome, dude. I know somebody who's flying that CJ4 mod today. Somebody made that comment. I think it was it Sam? Yeah. Flying Guitarist is flying the CJ4 mod, which we're gonna get in next. You guys have been bugging me to fly it, especially Phantom 320. Somebody taking off there in the background. That's sweet, huh? I love X-Plane when it works. Alright, we got good APU. We'll come back up here. Let's go ahead and turn on the APU bleed. We'll go normal since that's going to be normal anyway. We'll turn off that. And on auto, we'll arm those. Let's start closing up some doors here. I like seeing this door close right here. What are the main changes? It brings a lot of the main stuff you see on the 321, such as use of Imperial units. You can now use that on the 319. You've changed the exterior wheels. They made them a little bit larger. I think they look a little bit more proportional now on the exterior. And you can see here for the 319, I've bumped up my aircraft age and my engine age. Also, engine oil will burn off. Crew oxygen will burn off if you use the oxygen mask. I kind of briefly went over that yesterday. If you pull this oxygen mask out here and we're simulating a smoke or something like that, you can actually do full-blown procedures with your oxygen mask on, and it should drain your cockpit oxygen. But all right, that looks good here. We're gonna go straight up to 300. Let me set that up. 300 is set there, and let me just really quick, I know I said I loaded the flight plan, but let's just take one double check here real quick. All right, so we're on that RNAV departure, or it's actually an ARC departure, all the way to Melva. Transition for the Corti RNP02. That looks good. Perf data is set. We'll put you back into ARC mode, and let's close up that main cabin door and let's start getting out of here.
Donation.
Oh my goodness. Q8 pilot. Q8 pilot, dude. Thank you. Wow. Q8 pilot, guys, just donated a $100 bomb. He says, thank you for your outstanding service to the community, Captain. Q8, thank you so much, man, for that that donation, man. And you're I'm kind of blown away, man. Q8, thank you so much. I've said it before, back way before I even got into X-Plane. Q8 pilot was the reason that I got into X-Plane. I mean, watching his videos, all of his tutorials, and seeing him back in the community now, putting out videos is fantastic, and I really appreciate that, Q8. Thank you, man. That's too kind. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family is doing well, and we got to get a flight together here at some point, Q8. I mean, I would love to do some type of multi-crew with you somehow. With my internet right now, it's pretty hard, but I'm just waiting on that Starlink, man. We get Starlink out here, I can be a little bit more consistent, but thank you again, Q8. Really appreciate it, man. Guys, if you're a member in chat, please send some positive rates out there to Q8 for Q8 pilot. I think he might be one of the most instrumental X-Plane content creators out there. So, positive rate to Q8 pilot, guys. Thank you, Q8. All right, I got kind of just lost my train of thought now. All right, we got our fuel. Our doors are closed. Let's go ahead and get the beacon light on. Let's disconnect the ground power. That's what I wanted to do. Disconnect the ground power. Everything is closed. Jet bridge is pulling away. Parking brake is set. Let's go ahead and get out of here, guys. Let's get this show on the road.
Ground to Cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
That's where I want to go.
Ground to Cockpit. Tower is driving up.
All right, you can drive up, and we'll drive away all of our ground services. Q8 says you're most welcome, Captain. I appreciate it, Q8, man. Douglas says Q8 rocks. He does, man. Honestly, Q8 is... I wouldn't have come to X-Plane if it wasn't for Q8. Pretty fair to say that, because I was... You know that whole... Before X-Plane was really popular, I was on the FSX platform, and the whole task and the whole mental challenge of getting in a new simulator and setting up a new simulator, doing all your bindings, your sceneries, what do you need, what do you not need, and Q8 is just an instrumental content creator in the X-Plane platform, and he does other stuff too, but to me, my personal level, that's where I really fell in love with Q8's content. Cheers, my friend. Wrong way, what's up, man? Flight Aviation, you said you're in the hospital? Dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope you feel better. Neo with fence gate wingtips, Phoenix 990. This is not a Neo aircraft. This is a CFM mod. Oh, that's another thing I should have mentioned to you guys. So a couple of you guys wanted to see the CFM Engine Mod. This is a freeware mod for the 319. Now, as far as painting it, it is pretty challenging, and what I've heard is that they are going to release a paint kit to make it a little bit easier now. So that is the reason why we do not have the blue engines with the Mexicana on there. But I wanted to show these engines, and I wanted to make sure everything fit too. Like when I get a beta branch, I like to just test it completely stock, and then I put on the BSS pack, I put on the CFM mod. I just kind of make sure there's nothing gets broken, I guess I should say. But everything works fantastic, so that's the only reason why we don't have blue engines, guys, because I just wanted to try this mod out, show you guys. I mean, the textures do look pretty nice. They do look pretty nice, I will give it that. All right, we're ready to go. Before start check, let's windows, doors, and slides. They are closed and armed. Beacon is on. Thrust levers are idle. Parking brake is set. Let's go. Park brake release. Clear to push.
Pushback, and you may start engines.
We're on VATSIM, so I'm going to go 2000 and... We need to put our CTAF there. Here we go. James Lewis, good afternoon. Welcome. 2 Tons of Love says you're representing Bourbon 4-5 into Miami from Cancun this morning. 2 Tons of Love. Fantastic, dude. So that's the next thing I got to work on is getting a CSL for that Bourbon livery. It is fantastic. I'm just waiting. If Jungly had one for the 319, I would have thrown it on the 319. But I do love that new Bourbon livery. It's pretty sweet. Look at that. So now that we've changed direction at the gate, our fan blades are no longer spinning. That's a pretty cool detail that you may miss out on. At the gate there, you notice this N1 blade was spinning. That's because we got wind blowing up the tailpipe here, and it's turning that fan blade. Now as the airplane turns away from the gate, the wind's is not able to get up inside that engine. So now our fan blade is stationary. It looks pretty cool. Dougal says, can we hit 100 likes before departure, good people? Oh, yeah, let's hit the like button. What are we at? We're at 66 like. Yeah, if you guys like this content, man, hit the like button for second chances, because this flight, I was really bummed yesterday, guys. I got to say, I was really bummed when we couldn't get the show on the road yesterday. I know a lot of people were looking forward to that one, hopefully. We're looking good right now. Internet is looking good, so we shall be out of here. Wrong Way says, does anyone know if there's a Discord channel in North America to join? Had no luck so far. What do you mean a Discord channel? We have a Discord channel. If anyone has a Discord channel, it's in the description below, man, if you want to check it out. Miss Jungle says he's working on the 319. That's good to hear it. Should be hard at work back there. All right, everything looks good here. Let's fire. Well, I want to enjoy the startup sound, so let's wait till we set the brake here. Trey Jackson, what's going on, man? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Just in time, man. We're just about to fire up this BSS sound pack.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
All right, brakes are set. Clear to disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Roger, we're starting engine 1. All right, 41 PSI. Here we go. Turn it over. Take a listen. That's pretty good, man. I'm not. CFMs aren't my favorite, but I gotta say, that is a pretty clean sound. Pretty clean startup. All right, man. Thanks for the smooth push. We'll see you next time. All right, we got a good start on 1. Let's do a single engine taxi out, shall we? We'll go. Let's go out on 1. We'll extend flaps 1 from back here because we want to hear the flap sounds. Selb says, hey V1, couldn't catch yesterday's stream, but by troubles you're streaming. You're streaming again. Happy to be here. Selb, thank you, man. Yeah, sorry about yesterday, dude, but glad to have you here on round 2. All right, let's see. That's up. Orm flaps 1. We're gonna go yellow electric pump on. APU bleed is off. What just dinged at me? Nothing. Okay, don't scare me like that. Sometimes we just got gremlins. All right, we got a good start on engine 1. Let's get out of here, guys. We'll single engine taxi out. We're gonna go to 1, 2. I probably should check which runway. Let's take a listen to these sounds. Kind of like a fan blade animation bug there on my number 1 engine. Oh, I'm sorry, my number 2 engine. Was that as loud for you guys as it was for me? Because that was pretty loud. Alright, we need to be taking off at 22:10, so we're looking good. We're actually about 2 minutes behind. I got it set up so we have enough sunset arrival. So, I was just in Cancun last week multiple times. Look at this Cactus 319 over here. Whoever that is, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Look at those proper motors on there. Proper IA engines. But every time I'm in Cancun, they have a bunch of 737-200s with the JT8 or with the JT8 engines on them parked over here. And every time I look at them, I just think, man, that must be one heck of an airplane to fly, and I wonder how airworthy it is. I imagine they are airworthy and they still fly. I believe it's Aviasca, or I don't know how to say it, but Aviasca is what I see. And yeah, the 737-200s they got parked over there. I imagine they're airworthy though because they don't have any cones around them, or they're not wrapped. I wonder where that Cactus is headed. We already hit 100 likes. Awesome, guys. I appreciate it. I do have to say, I'm really bad at remembering about asking to hit the like button. I'm also really bad about staying on the center line here, too. All right, let's go ahead and fire up engine 2. Yellow electric pump can come off. APU bleed can come on. We have an APU going off in the background here. Not quite. Let's take a look here with the yellow electric off. Oh yeah, P2's running now. Should be hearing it, I imagine. You would probably be hearing the PT right now. All right, let's go ahead and turn engine 2. So there's another, that's a 732 over there. Tom says, hopefully they remember how to thrust back on climb out so they don't have an engine fire. I hear you, dude. Oh, I'll never forget that stream, man. We were taking off out of Salt Lake in a 737-200. Just enjoying the fork boy on the window view. And then I get back in the cockpit, we got an engine fire. Man. Ralph, what's up, dude? He says, AV1, really looking forward to this flight. Awesome, dude. I'm looking forward to it too, man. Honduras is, I got a nice little scenery Dimitri actually put together for me a long time ago. I think I did this flight for the Simwings, right, Dougal? Our one of the first Simwings promo flights. We went into Honduras. All right, we got 2 good starts. I can go back to normal. That is set. Everything looks good. APU can come off. After start checklist. Engine and ice off. Yellow electric pump is off. Rotor trim 0. After start checklist complete. Let's do our flight controls. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. You can see here ailerons are drooped. Make sure that is, if you got that Florence kit on there, that looks good. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config. TCAS goes to TARA. And we'll ding the flight attendants. I hope you're not flexing. I missed yoga time. Andy, we're not flexing, my friend. We don't flex on this channel. If you guys are still wondering, what is the difference between flex and toga? The last video I put out on the FS 2020 series, even if you don't have Flight Simulator 2020, you're not interested in it, I do have a little segment in there that talks about flex, when you should flex, when you're prohibited to flex, I should say, when you're prohibited to flex, and when you have to use toga. So I got a little section in that video if you want to check it out as well. But on this channel in Flight Sim, man, full yoga. I'm really having a hard time staying on centerline. Dougal says, yep, this was the very first Simwings video. That's right, yeah, and the Simwings Flight Factor, I believe it was the Flight Factor now, right? We're going to get another one, Dougal. We're definitely going to get another one, man. Honestly, with my internet, though, I feel like Saturday or weekend streams are just a 50-50 shot if it's going to work or not. Everybody's home, everyone's on that same cell tower or Wi-Fi tower. All right, 1-2 right. Final looks clear. Let's go ahead and line them up. So we have at or below, I believe we have an at or below 5,000 on the departure here. Let me just see, is it still... We're going to see how it handles. We'll verify it here once we line up. I love this Cancun scenery. I spend a lot of time in Cancun. It's a nice little turn that I do in real life, so this is a good Cancun scenery. Alright, before we blast off out of here, we'll go ahead and set here. That was a pretty good lineup. There's our cactus friend. Let me look here. Flight plan. Have any vertical? I don't think we do, actually. Okay, so I think we're good. So it's only that Cancun 200 knots intercept, and then we're in a RNP turnout. All right. As always, we're going to spool them up 50% here. We're going to go full Toga. You guys ready? I'm going to need maximum yogas in chat. Here we go. Watch your ears if you're headphone users. Spool them up 50. Yoga. Gotta love it. Got to love it. 80 knots. Thrust set.
Cancun traffic, Cactus to Golf, line up and take off for runway 1 to right.
Probably should have made some radio calls. V1, rotate. It's a little wrap positive rate. Gear up. A little quick on the rotation there. We're navving. Flyby. Watch your ears.
Traffic, Mexico 5. Caravan Mexico 5. Runway 30
Max 200 knots there. Those engines, though. Woo! Like button for CFMs. All right, there's our lever climb. Positive trend in airspeed. There's my positive trend arrow. Thrust climb, auto thrust. I think we're going to be just fine on that 200 knot restriction there. A little hazy this morning. Alright, let's see how this Toliss handles this RNAV turn here. S-speed. We'll go ahead and bring them in. Flap 0. Ah, look at that. It's going to green dot. Because of our weight. Interesting. Can't quite make 200. It should. I think it should, though. I think it should stay at 200 there. I'd have to look at the FMGC logs or logic on that one there. I think even though it's below green dot, it still would have bumped that carrot to 200, but I could be wrong. All right, here we go. We're going to hand fly this turn out here. It's just an RNAV intercept. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? All right. Engine 1 oil, low pressure. Thrust lever 1 idle. Thrust lever 1 confirm. Idle. Engine 1 master off. Are you serious? We gotta shut down an engine? Alright. Level off. Autopilot 1. Are you freaking serious right now? Jeez, dude. Alright, 220. Level, stop the airplane. We're flying the airplane. We're gonna set 6,500. Open climb. Speed Alp heading. Select speed. We'll maintain 220 knots. We have no oil in engine number 1. Alright, confirm engine 1 master. Confirmed. Engine 1 master off. Engine 1 shutdown. I'm starting the APU. Cancun traffic, Mexicana 319. We got a Emergency, we'll be returning back to Cancun. Cancun traffic. Alright, engine 1 shut down. Engine mode selector ignition. Ignition. If no fuel leak, imbalance monitor, TCAS TA only. That's so we don't do a react, so we don't react with one engine. Auto flight, auto thrust limited, we'll go to MCT in the operating engine. Okay, clear engine 1 oil, clear engine 1 oil. Clear engine 1 shutdown, clear engine 1 shutdown. Status. Hydraulics, we got the PTU is pressurizing the green system. Clear hydraulics, clear hydraulics. Electrical, we've got one generator working. I've got the APU starting for the electrical. Clear electric. Bleeds, we got engine 1 bleed. We'll avoid anti-ice or avoid icing conditions. Clear bleed. Status, stop status. Let's fly the airplane. We're going to come back around heading 270. Secondary. Activate secondary. We're going to set up for the ILS 12 right. Cancun traffic, Mexicana 319 will be turning back to Cancun here for the ILS 12 right. Cannot believe this. I just want to get out of here. I just wanted to fly to Honduras to set and maintain 4,000.
You'll be aware that currently landing traffic at Cancun is 30 left.
So they're landing 30 Cancun. What are the winds down there? Winds are light and variable. Yeah, we're going to be landing runway 12 left for Cancun traffic. Alright, descend and maintain 3,000 now. 3,000, open descent. LS push buttons on. That's why you set up your secondary. Let's go ahead and get down there. Alright, clear status. Oh, it says, hold on, status. Cross bleed, if available performance permits, we're going to open the cross bleed. One pack only if wing anti is on, Cat 3 single only. Okay, clear status, clear status. Nothing like doing a single engine on stream. Not even prepared for this. It would be a little bit different in a multi-crew environment. You'd have, by the time that you went through that ECAM, you'd probably be already on a downwind or base returning to the airport. So we're trying our best here. Yes, it will auto-trim the rudder. Now, I can't really see the chat, guys, so I apologize. We're just trying to get us back down on the ground. 3,000, ILS 12 left. Here, let's pull it up. It probably should have set, so you know what? It's funny. I kind of did a half-assed secondary flight plan, too. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to put the ILS in there. Didn't put anything else in there, of course. So they like the ILS DME4, 12 left. Perf data. $125. DA is 250. We're going to go 0 for 0 on the wind, light and variable. That looks good. And what was the altimeter? 3009er. That speed brake's still out, that's my bad. 3009 is set. Temperature, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like 18. Doesn't really matter for this purposes. All right, secondary is set. One last thing we got to do here: activate, confirm. Approach is activated. We're going to go auto brake slow. We're going to do idle reverse since we have one operating engine. We're at 3,000 feet. Mexicana 319, flight heading 335. UN 532, can we join there? UN 532, that is the final approach fix at 1400. And folks in the flight deck, you may have noticed that we had to do an engine shutdown in flight here. We're going to be returning back to Cancun. Unfortunately, the airplane's been sitting too long during COVID, so they forgot to put oil in it when we took it out of storage. But we'll be on the ground here in about the next 5 minutes. I do not anticipate a brace command, and I do apologize for the inconvenience. Oh boy.
Cancun traffic, Mexico 556, getting runway at east left, Charlie 7.
Alright, so somebody be running the comm and everything else is good. Everything is set. We're TA only. That is good. Engine is shut down, so it's not damaged. It's just we just had to do a shutdown because we didn't have any oil in there. Alright, we're going to try to join at 532, which 532 is a mandatory at 1400. Let's see if we can get down there. Let's do it. Descend and maintain 2000. Turn right, heading 35. Let's make it 360. We'll go ahead and reduce speed down to 180 knots. We're looking for INCP. Confirm INCP 110.7. Final approach course 125. DA is 250. We're looking good. Anthony says, I think this flight is cursed because you can't seem to get away from Cancun. I swear, dude, I can. VFE next minus 10, flaps 1. Here we go. I think we could make that 1400. So let's go ahead and descend and maintain. It might be a little tight there. We'll see.
2,500.
Come here a few more, then we'll make one turn and join. Alright, land ASAP. TCAS is in standby. It shouldn't be in standby. It should be in TA only. Let's see. What did I mess up? Oh, it should be TA only. So, alright. TA only. Hydraulic PT is operating. Ignition APU is available. That is good. I'm going to go ahead and turn on. Actually, we're going to leave the bleed off for right now. We're fine. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and turn right. Heading 050. Intercept the localizer 12 left. Cancun traffic, Mexicana 319. We're turning about an 8-mile final for runway 12 left. Cancun. Jeez. Alright, let's do that. We'll go ahead and arm the approach mode. Now, I do have to do a single engine hand flow on ILS in the sim, so we might as well hand fly this one. I'm gonna leave flaps at 1 right now because I've a little bit early here. I know we could go flaps 2, but with 1 engine, let's try to minimize our drag here. Speed out start, glide slope blue, load blue, Cat 3 single now. Alright, there we go. Final heading 1075 to join, cleared to land, 12 left. Lights are on, everything is good. Alright, clear to land, 12 left, here we go. Team Vodka says this happened because of all the times recently you've gone full Toga and not started the chrono. Oh, maybe I should starting the chrono. Maybe I should start flexing. The ways Toliss is starting to model their stuff here, maybe we should start flexing.
Donation.
Captain Austin, thank you so much for the $3 bomb, dude. I appreciate it. He says, big thank you to you, to Dougal McTavish and V1 for one of the greatest simmers. My name is Captain Austin. You can call me Butterman. Enjoy your day, sir. Stay positive. Captain Austin, thank you so much, man, for the $3 bomb. I really appreciate it. Huge shout out to Dougal. For sure, man. Getting that Simwings thing, it's awesome to see how the Simwings project has really grown and developed and got now at, what, 2 rigs now? So, thanks again, Captain Austin. I appreciate the donation, my friend. All right, there's Lokestar. We're just waiting for the glide slope to come down. Oops, I just bumped my throttles out of MCT there. All right, let's go ahead and start slowing up. Here we go. Gear down, flaps 2. I'm gonna just use manual thrust because apparently it's having a hard time. VFNX minus 10, flaps 3. And flaps full. Check chem crew advise auto thrust is off. ECAM memo. We are landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. Hand flow and ILS. Let's go ahead. Autopilot off. We're hand flying this bad boy. Hand flow and single engine. Nice little tailwind too. Maybe that's why I should have landed 30s, but. Some power, please. Can I get some power, please?
400.
100 above.
Landing.
300.
2 whites, 2 reds. Got on the localizer finally.
Minimum.
I feel like I need a lot more power there than normal here, but we're alright. We're looking good.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Retard.
10.
5.
Spoilers. Reverse. Green. Decel. Auto reverse. $70 knots. Jeez. Manual brakes. Stow 'em. Remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. Oh wait, nobody evacuates. Mexicana 319, can you make it to the gate? Yeah, we'll be fine here. Go through our emergency stuff. Oh boy. Well. We made it. Let's go ahead and put it at the gate and see if we can... I mean, the internet is still holding out, so what the heck? Let's see if we can reservice this airplane and get out of here. Anthony says, that's what I get for using CFM engines. Anthony, you just won the comment of the stream, my friend. This is why I will never use CFM engines again. Wow. Wow. So now, taxiing back with one engine operating, we're going to have the PTU running the entire way because it's engine 1 that is out. Ooh, I don't know if I have enough juice to make this hill here. We were just under max landing weight too. That's probably why I need a little bit more power. So I was getting slow there, and I think, well, maybe just because I don't do single engine approaches very much hand flown, but my thrust levers on my actual hardware, my throttle quadrant, I felt like I was moving them a lot further than I needed to for power, as opposed to the real airplane. The real airplane, in all honesty, it actually single engine hand flies not bad, you know. Now I don't think when we do our V1 cuts, I don't know if we're at nearly max weight, so that might just be something I wasn't used to there. But nonetheless, we're down, we're safe. It's a plug that needs some tightening. Did Dimitri forget the oil? Team Vodka, yeah, Dimitri forgot the oil. I forgot the lights. I'm an emergency aircraft, though. I can do whatever I want now coming into the gate here, within reason. Ay. Now the question is, how do we service? Does Toliss have a servicing thing? Like, brakes are hot because we just stopped the 319. Almost fully loaded. So max landing weight for a 319 is 137,000 pounds, or just under that. So we're gonna go ahead and park over here next to United. That's too funny, man. I swear, this airport is cursed. This airport is cursed. We're gonna take gate 42. How does that sound, dude? Was this a random X-Plane 11 failure? No, this was a Toliss, or probably a Toliss random failure. So you can see here I have my faults, engine 1 oil. Jeez. Alright, let's park this thing properly here. 12 meters, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Come on, really? Now I gotta juice it? There we go. Brake set, APU is on. Killing engine 2. Wow. Nice spool down sounds, though. Nice spool down sounds. Alright, we're down 5% in when we shut the beacon off. Here comes the jet bridge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cancun.
Donation.
I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't sweating a little bit there. Oh my gosh. Here's some money to buy a jug of oil since the company is broke. Andre Henry, dude, thank you so much for the $10 bomb, man. I appreciate that. We're gonna need some oil. Let's fill it up. I mean, what the heck? You guys are all here. Let's see if we can clear this fault and get out of here. Okay, so let's delete this one. Do I reset all? Reset all. Okay. So this is what I honestly, this is why the Toliss 319, in my opinion, is the best Airbus in X-Plane. Now, if you could say the 321 as well, but when we look at the two major Airbus players in X-Plane, this random fault thing, it will get you. How many streams have we done where I've loaded up a secondary? I'm like, I really don't need to worry about a secondary, blah, blah, blah. And the one time I load up a half-ass secondary where I don't put in the performance, good thing I had the runway in there, we lose an engine. Now, I'm running this flight time factor on 100, so that is pretty high. That means I think it's like 100 to 1. So one flight is like 100 flights in real life. Is kind of how they judge this factor of failure. Now I like that because it keeps me on my toes, and it's still relatively under control. What I've also done is, since this is a 319, I've changed my engine and aircraft gauge. This is a performance thing adjustment that you can make here. So it flies a little bit less efficient, a little bit less thrust, burn a little bit more oil when you have a little older airplane. So we've cleared the fault. Let's turn this plane around. Captain Tom says this failure is karma for you, calling me out in DCS screenshots last night. Apparently it is, man. All right, who's ready to go to Cancun, or who's ready to go to Honduras? Let's try this again. Now we got to load up our flight plan. Good thing I've loaded it about 5 times now, so I know exactly what to load. We'll be quick here. MMUN, MHTG. We're servicing the oil. We're going to be MX A319. We're going cost index 99 now. Cruise flight level 300. Here we go again. We're going to depart off 12 left. Jeez Louise. Delita 2. Insert that. After Lideck. Oh, yeah. We're going to join the airway here. Bravo 881 to Cozumel. Well, who's ready to go to Louis says airport is now Cancun. Guys, hit the like button for a single engine failure, or for an engine failure and a single engine landing on stream. And I promise you, I swear that was totally unscripted. That was just I'm going to go back and watch that stream. There's a couple things that I did that I know are non-SOP, which I think is kind of acceptable since I'm streaming and flying single pilot. But there was a procedure in the ECAM that I skipped. After the engine oil, the red item, I should have done clear oil and then moved to the next one. I left that red ECAM up there. So this is going to be one of those. We haven't had one in a long time, but I'm going to reclip this stream and I'm going to put it in the safety stream, and then I'll critique what I did right and what I did wrong. But definitely hit that like button for engine failures and keeping it real, man. Why is Corti not in database? Amita Corti, there we go. And we're going to join the Corti one. Man. Melvo transition, there we go. Go ahead and insert all that. We're going to need more gas. And we're going to need to reload all that stuff. So, what's our secondary? Hey, we still got our secondary in there. That looks good. Let's load up our secondary perf. I think in the real airplane it would have switched out. 250, 3009er. I love sitting at the gate. You guys just hear that APU in the background, that high-pitched whine, the bleeds and the packs running. It's so realistic. The ambient sound of BSS is what gets me. I literally feel like I'm sitting at the gate right now. I think it was like 300 at 3 or something when we were coming in. Brakes hot ECAM, of course. There goes our brake fans. All right, so we're going to have to delay takeoff for that. Clear brakes. We'll check it on there. What do we got? We got 10.1. We need more fuel. Let's go ahead and call the fuel truck here. Jeez Louise. We'll wait for him to pull up. I can hear those brake fans running though. This is a quick service here. Let's get some fuel on here and get out of here. Dougal says we made 100 likes before the first departure. Let's see if we can make 200 for the second departure. We're going to need more coffee too. Yeah, we are. I'm going to get a coffee break here too. Let me get some fuel on here. Now, let me wait till he actually hooks up. Let's try to simulate realism. One thing that, and I might make a note to Toliss, and maybe they can see if they can implement it. But what I think would be cool is having a real-time fuel loading implementation. That's one thing that I really like about the FS Labs and P3D that you can simulate. And I think you can actually do it on a couple other airplanes and X-planes. So I know the technology is there, and it may even be there because you see how it says quick refuel. Maybe I just don't know how to do it, but do you guys know if there's a way to do a real-time refuel? Like if I just do that, I'm pretty sure the only way to get fuel is if I hit quick refuel, defuel. So anyway, we'll just do that. 11.8 on board. We're still loaded up the same. Whoa. Hate it when that happens. Okay, we're back on it. So, and we should be still the same, 125.8 and 125.9. So, question: how do you feel about the FS Labs? If I may ask, Jamal, I love the FS Labs, man. My only thing is I shouldn't say I hate. I dislike. I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't want to take the time to set up P3D. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you get into a sim and you get invested in a sim, that's what I was saying with Q8 Pilot earlier, is there's a lot that goes into getting all your bindings, or knowing which scenery you need, which scenery you don't need. So I just don't want to take the time to configure P3D, but I love the product. I love the FS Labs Airbus, but I gotta say that eCam was pretty good. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clip this stream, and this week all I'm doing is emergencies in the sims. I got a warm up tomorrow, then I got my actual check ride again on Wednesday, and then I have an advanced envelope training on the following day. So after I get beat up in the sim a little bit, I'm going to come back to X-Plane. I'm going to see the eCams and see how they work according to the real airplane. But okay, here we go. 11.8, 35 on the fuel. Let's get this thing loaded so we can get out of here, or attempt to. Should we flex? Nah, screw it. I ain't scared. We're gonna go yoga. 135, 35, 39. Christian says, did you see the print function in the A320 Neo Mod? Yes, I did. It was straight juice, Christian. Straight juice, man. When I saw that little print out. Now, if they could make it print to a little 3D printer, or not a 3D printer, what is this called? A little thermal printer that I have on my desk that I use for FS Labs. If they could make that work in FS 2020, that would be pretty sweet. Okay, that's set up. We're ready for departure, and I'm gonna need coffee, but let's just make sure we didn't draw any weird shapes here on our flight plan. I know sometimes. Let's just step through here, make sure there's no discos. Everything looks good. All right. Top altitude 300. What are our brake temps? Our brakes are still hot. 310. All right, I'm going to run down and grab a cup of coffee, guys. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Give me 60 seconds, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, here we go. Let's get out of here. Everything looks good. Let's do overhead flow. Pumps are coming on. Bleed is on, auto. Turn the beacon on. Let's close up the doors. Everything's closing, they're pulling back.
Ground to Cockpit. Please, show me where you want to go.
Just push me straight back, man. Actually, I'm feeling lazy. Put me straight on the taxiway.
Ground to Cockpit. Tau is driving up.
Woo! All right. Christian says it would be cool if they make it so you can actually place it somewhere on the aircraft. Christian, you know that you mentioned that. That's kind of what I was thinking too, because they have it print out right here. It would be pretty sweet if you could just click it, and then it would go. Well, they have that CPDLC thing there, but you know, maybe like put it here or just make it accessible to where you could see it. That would be really cool. All right, let's actually look at our. Was that something that I messed up? Did anybody notice? I'm gonna look at the stream again. Did I not have oil in the engine on my pre-flight? I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the stream back. Anyway, all right. Windows order slides closed on, beacon on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is set for now. Four-star check is complete.
Hatches are closed.
We're
Ready to connect.
blasting the ground crew here with the radar. Sorry, guys. We're gonna leave the brake fans on here just a little bit longer, even though they're hot. So this is another thing about brakes. Where's my wheel page at? So even though we're at 280, like in real life, I'd be concerned about making it to the runway without our brake temperatures reaching 300, because just slowing down. Now we're moderately loaded 319, so it hopefully won't be too bad. But we're going to single engine taxi, so we don't have to ride the brakes. This is something where you got to be really careful on your taxi out. Now, if you're in the summertime, Las Vegas, forget about it. You're not going to get to the runway if you push off the gate with a 280C brake temp. So some airports that are known for high temperatures, they actually have additional brake fans at the gate that you can run. And that should have been normal. Wow, it didn't really do any good. Hopefully we don't have any more surprises. Brakes off, you're clear to push. Let's get out of here, man.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Roger, we'll wait to start here in a second. Super fast coffee run? Yeah, I'm out of breath, man. I ran downstairs. Woo! Yeah, drag and drop, Christian. I agree, man. Wow, we got Dimitri on the pushback tug here. What is going on with this? Now we're really going to be late. The procedure is not authorized at night in Honduras. Oh, man. Louis says, I'm guessing the blue circuit stunt may have caused this. Well, that was hydraulics. We were messing with hydraulics, so I don't think it was related, but who knows, man. That's the last time I start tooling around with maintenance panel on the ground before a stream. Andre says, Captain, do you fly without Vulcan? Or you do fly without Vulcan, that is correct. Sometimes I get Vulcan device lost, and it's very annoying, especially when you're doing a long haul on VATSIM. Yeah, Andre, I had problems with Vulcan. I don't run Vulcan, man. I actually don't even, my video card driver is not compatible with Vulcan. So I have a GTX 1070. I do not run Vulcan until I have to switch over. I'm not going to. I will upgrade my graphics card. That's one of the items in 2021 is to get a better GPU. I want the prices to come down a little bit though, and let everything go back to normal, hopefully, for electronics anyway, or pseudo normal. TRP Beat says, imagine the number 2 engine failure. If we lose an engine on this one, I'm done. I'm done. Anthony says the pushback driver has the worst Mexican accent I ever heard. Yeah, man. Need to get someone authentic down there. So I had a story. I was telling somebody in the chat, I think yesterday, that I checked on with a, I don't know where, we were somewhere over Mexico. I think it was an approach controller in Mexico, and I checked on in Spanish. That was a mistake, because they thought that, I was like, oh, he can speak Spanish. So then they rattled off like 3 sentences in Spanish, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I need the English, please. But whenever I go down there with somebody who's fluent in Spanish, we try to do it. Alright, let's go ahead and get this engine started up.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brakes are set. We're starting one.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Roger. Hey guy says my 1070 ran Vulcan no problem. Yeah, I don't doubt that it can run it. I don't know. I had issues. I actually never had the Vulcan device loss issue. I had other issues with stability in X-Plane itself. Like X-Plane wouldn't load, or then it would just crash. It was at a point where I would have to launch X-Plane 4 or 5 times for it to work. Team Vodka says the procedure, it doesn't say not authorized at night. It does say pilot control. Okay. Oh, good. Team Vodka, good. Then maybe I'm mistaken. It's good. All right.
Tow is disconnected and bypass beam has been removed. And signal on the right. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
All right. Well, hopefully you don't see me again here pretty soon. We got a good start on 1. Flaps 1. Ground spoilers armed. How's our fluids looking here? That looks good. Just want to make sure it cleared out. Our oil quantity is 13.5. We're still good though. Alright, hey, if we lose an engine on this one, I'm gonna just make sure the fault did clear so we don't have any faults, no additional faults. Let's get out of here. We're gonna single engine taxi because we gotta be really careful on these brakes. Speaking of, what are our brake temps right now? 240, so we're going to be real careful on these brakes. Let's get out of here. Cancun traffic, Mexicana 319. We're going to be taxiing to runway 12 right. Did I set up 12 right? I think I set up 12 left in the box. There we go. Quick runway change. There, gotta load the SID. There we go. Alright. Ah! My V-speed's cleared out because I changed the runway. Perf data 1 plus F, yoga thrust 35, 35, 39. We're gonna take the outer. Actually, let's be realistic, we'll take the inner. So Cancun, they take you on this inner taxiway here. Oh, United's pushing back. Scratch that. We'll take the outer. I don't want to get in United's way there. Here we go. Mexi-cursed. Mexi-cursed is good. I like Cancun. I think Cancun is... Cancun is still one of my favorites. How can I get the new version of the 319? Marcus, it should be dropping anytime soon. It's literally just a beta update. They have the testers making sure everything runs smooth. So I haven't found any issues with it yet. So I can only imagine it's probably around the corner for release. Nice little reflection there off the engine cowling. That's pretty cool. Swappy, yes, says that's a nice livery. I like this livery. I really wish I had the blue engines. So the Mexicana livery does have blue engines, and it says Mexicana on the engine. For a mostly white livery, I really do enjoy this one. I really do like it. Quasimodo says, it seems you had oil in the engine during the fail, but no pressure. Okay, that's what I thought. It was an engine pressure. That's what engine 1 no pressure, or engine 1 no oil pressure. That was the fault. That was the fault problem there. It wasn't quantity. That's why the engine, you know, wasn't damaged. If you lose your oil quantity, like if your oil is gone or amber X'd out, that means you might have damage, so you wouldn't consider a relight. Now, you're not going to consider a relight with no oil pressure either, because that could just cause more issues. What do we have here? Omni Air. I got a couple buddies that used to work for Omni. Nice. How's our wheel temps? We are 200. That looks good. All right, let's go ahead and fire up engine 2. Yellow electric pump is off. APU bleed is on.
United 576 taxi, runway 12 right via target.
And start engine 2. Two tons of list says my CSL has blue engines and you passed me. Awesome, dude. Yeah, so the CSL probably has the blue engines. That's cool. I love the blue engines on the Mexican livery. I have a thing, you know, for painted engines now too. I think it just mixes it up, you know, instead of just white. You're doing Cancun to Bogota. That's a fun flight. Bogota is a good one. So one thing, as I taxed into the ramp area here, one thing I was going to say yesterday... Uh-oh, my rudder pedal just, like, stuck to the floor. We're going to do some more flying in Mexico. I really do. There's some pretty unique approaches in Mexico. So we're going to do some more flying here for sure. All right, that is off. That's one. Bleed can come off. Engine 2 is started. Let's get down there. Let's do our flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudders. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Well, 137.6, so we're just under max if we do have to come back. Wow, let me reset the rudder trim there. You see that? So somebody asked if the airplane will auto trim the rudder. So here's the thing. It will set the trim for you. But the procedure is, if you have an engine failure, say you have a V1 cut, what you're going to do is you're going to set your rudder trim manually while you're flying the airplane, and then you're going to give the airplane a nicely trimmed airplane. And then when you disconnect the autopilot, it'll be pretty much trimmed where it needs to be. But that was pretty cool. So that never reset. I should have reset that after engine start. Phantom's slacking there on his after start procedures for the FO. Brian Rosner, thank you so much. Welcome to Private Pilot, man. Welcome to the channel, dude. Exclamation point, welcome. If you need some more information on your new perks. But Brian, thank you for joining the channel, man. Welcome to Private Pilot, my friend.
Cancun traffic, Bourbon 45, taxiing the runway 12 right, Cancun traffic.
What? Bourbon 45. I like that call sign. All right, here we go. Before takeoff checklist.
Traffic citation 5850 Foxtrot taking off.
Everything's good. All right, citation 50 Fox is taken off. I believe that's Sam in the CJ Ford mod. Looks like a Learjet to me, though. That's definitely a Learjet. Captain Tom says we should fire Phantom. We should, man. All right. I should do my checks here. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config checked. That goes on. That goes on. TARA. Brake fans off for takeoff. Cabin check. Flight temps prepare for takeoff. Last check on the wheel temps were 180, so we're looking good. All right. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Where's that citation at? There he is. He's taking the runway. Yep, Quasimodo brake fans off. There goes Sam and his CJ4/Learjet. Nice, man. I love that sim. Look at that. Looks like he's going for a speed climb out there. Little VY climb out, maybe. Cancun traffic, Mexico 319. You'll be taking the active 1-2 right for departure, Cancun. Alright, this ought to be interesting. Flying into Honduras at night with a ship that I do not trust. Did we reach 200 likes? We did. 200 likes before the second departure. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys. Alright, we're going to give him some space. He's, I just saw him disappear there. He was almost about 5 miles out. We'll give him some space there. Everything looks good. Listen to those engines. My LS is still on. Thank you. Good catch there. Don't need to be coming back to that. Cancun traffic, Mexico 319 will be taking off 1-2 right. Cancun. All right, here we go. Let's watch this engine and make sure it doesn't catch fire. Maximum Yoga's in chat. Spool him up 50. Yoga. Toga SRS runway, auto thrust is blue, 80 knots, thrust set. V1, rotate. Much better rotation this time. Positive rate, gear up. We're navving. Fly by. That's a cool shot. Look at that. Cancun. I like Cancun, man. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and get these engines back right away. Thrust climb, climb auto thrust. Autopilot 1. I need to look here. Everything is looking good, so everything's in the green. Dougal says, worth the failure just to hear that takeoff roll again. I gotta say, man, I do love those BSS sounds ripping. Yeah. Nice sound cone there, too. Sitting in front of the engine, you really get that buzzsaw. Now, it's a shame we can't see it, but this whole coastline is modeled here, too. There's SB. We'll go ahead and retract the flaps 0 after takeoff checklist. Yeah, I love them too, Greg. Look at that. Yeah, if it was clear, you'd be able to see all the resorts and stuff down here. On the way we go. This is X-Plane, John. That's Bourbon 45 Heavy. Cancun traffic, Mexico 319, we're at 5,000, about 10, correction, about 5 northeast of the field, last call Cancun. Alright, we're in the turn, up to 300, everything is still looking good. Really hazy today. I don't know if that's realistic or what. 321 watching, but 234 likes. Come on, guys. He needs to support his real pilot. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, hit that like button, guys, if you want. Corona-free, guaranteed. Corona-free like button on this channel. Can't guarantee that on other channels. All right, here's our kind of like our RNAV intercept, and then we're going to turn outbound to Lideck. So we're looking good. 7.5. 250 on the speed. We're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and turn down X-plane a little bit here. Turn down this setting here. I need to turn down master external. This is way loud. There we go. Much better. In between layers almost. Saying last call was a gamble. Louis, good point, man. Good point. I shouldn't have said that. Should not have said last call. There's Cancun down there. Not bad for not even X Enviro. Straight default. Straight default. Cloud surfing here on the top. Probably at a 10,000 by now. That's pretty. Alright, we're definitely at a 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn off these lights, turn that off, ding the flight attendants. I'm going to turn down that fan sound as well. We're out of here. Captain Tom trying to jinx us there. Everything looks good so far. Pete says, I kind of forgot X-Plane can look good too. Yeah, it can, dude. I'm telling you. X-Plane has its moments. It really does. Is it on the level of FS 2020? No. But it can have its moments. Are we even going to make 30,000 feet? What I'm going to do here is, let's see. In real life, I don't like climbing out at 340 knots in a 319. I mean, it's fine, you could do it, but most of the 319s that I fly, a little bit older, that airframe has seen a lot of stress. So I downloaded a wing texture mod to make it a little bit more dirty. We'll see how you guys like it. I kind of wanted to simulate this airplane having sat in the deserts of who knows during the coronavirus pandemic. So obviously it's doing pretty good because it simulated not filling up the oil and having to return. So, but yeah, it should be a little bit more dirty here coming out of storage. Is there a procedural reason why you didn't attempt to restart the dead engine? Henri? Yeah, so anything with oil, like if there was a no oil pressure, right? So what happens if you don't have oil in your engine? You're not going to be able to cool it. You're not going to be able to lubricate it. So if I were to start the engine again, and it's situational here, right? Now, if you absolutely needed it, you might attempt to start it. But an oil problem like that, you're not going to want to start, because if you don't have oil, you're not going to be able to cool the engine. It's going to overheat, and then you can create a fire, and then you can create more problems. So there are some instances where you will consider a relight, but an oil like that, and especially in the situation that we were at right there, we were really close to Cancun. It's VFR. There's no terrain considerations. We can fly single engine just fine. I took I went with the no relight method. Now, there are situations where you would consider a relight, definitely, but in that critical instant on this flight, all things considered, I didn't want to do a relight. Do you know if Toliss will have a print function in the future? I do not know, Roderick. I do not know. Phantom says your right seat is looking kind of cold and lonely over there. Ah, I know, man. We got to do another multi-cruise. So, Phantom, we're going to legit have to try to figure this out. I'm working all week this week, so I'm going to try to get out at least 1 or 2 videos, probably kind of wrap up not wrap up, but just get a few more videos in that FS 2020 mini series. But as far as streams go, it's going to be pretty tough this week. Now, after this week, though, I think we have a little bit more time. But I do want to try to get another multi-crew Phantom, and we may have to even try where you be the master because of my internet. I wonder how it would work. So we'll have to do some trial runs, but for sure, dude, we got to do another multi-crew. Dougal says any engine without lubrication is likely to self-destruct. There you go. Exactly. Oil is the lifeblood of your engines. Now, if you had a dual engine flame out and you were drifting down over terrain and one engine blew up and one engine had no oil pressure, I might attempt to relight, but that was kind of a strange ECAM because you have no oil pressure, but you had oil quantity. So that's got to be, that means something mechanically has probably failed within the oil delivery system, and the engine needs to be shut down to protect itself. So you're really playing Russian roulette if you try to relight that one. But in the sim, we do relight procedures, and it's pretty, I wouldn't say complex, but there is quite a few steps that go into the relight. All right, 3230, climbing 300, everything is looking good now. We'll go ahead and put airport mode on. We'll get terrain. Oh, yeah, we don't need terrain just yet. It looks pretty smooth. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. And now we can finally sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. 394 miles. What's our gas on landing? 4.5, good, just minimum dispatch fuel. It's pretty realistic. All right. Paolo says, I'm not the tail of the pack anymore. Are you on you must be on the ground or close to it if you took off when we did the first time. Gaming Ninja says, when I flew a glider, my only in real life pilot experience, low oil pressure was the least of my concerns. There you go, man. Yeah, when you're flying a glider, you don't really need to worry about oil for sure. Can an engine without oil damage itself through windmilling? I don't want to say it's impossible, but I would say it's probably unlikely. But I mean, you bring up a good point. You know, if you're windmilling, what if you're going really fast, like 340 knots? But I still don't know if that would generate the kind of heat to actually damage the engine. But that's an interesting question, man. I would not say it's impossible, but I would say it's probably unlikely, just because I think you really need some of that combustion to get to the temps where it will actually damage the motor. But that's a very interesting question to bring up. Oh, you're behind me. Awesome, man. Richard Reed says, all that is wrong with FS 2020 is the aircraft. They need some payware aircraft, and it's a fix, and that plane will have to catch up. Yeah, man. We're just waiting for some good payware. Now, it's, in my opinion, I think FS 2020 has still got a way to go for some quality airliners to hit it, because I really think it's the SDK and the tools that the third-party developers need to make complex airplanes are pretty challenging and incomplete at this point. So, but with anything, in time, guys, in time. Not a bad sky color. I know I normally park at the front of the airplane, but I kind of like parking back here. What's the most horrific situation they put you through in a simulator? Engine failure, hydraulic failure, rat deployed, circling approach, non-precision into Bogota. That's probably the most horrific one they put you in. Is you're operating on rat power, minimal hydraulics, direct law, single engine, Bad day. But we do through, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what's your explanation or what's your definition of horrific. I mean, we do engine failures and fires as well, but to me, I think flight control issues are the worst, because if you have, well, it goes hand in hand with fire. But if you have an engine fire and you put it out, you're okay. If you have a flight control issue, you really need to make sure you've got your A game going, because obviously flight controls keep you flying. What does confirm approach function do in the McDo, and why not just use the MCP? So David, I'm going to go over this more in the FS 2020 series when we get on that approach phase. There's multiple methods behind that, okay? So you got to remember that an Airbus, you can fly it, there's a dozen different ways you can fly an airplane. Some companies are different. But the deceleration point, on the way the Airbus calculates the decel point, sometimes can conflict with RNAV arrivals and speed constraints. So in order to mitigate this, below 10,000 feet, we select speed manually on the MCP and we activate the approach phase. That way the airplane doesn't start slowing down early on an RNAV, or in the US it's very, very common to not fly a published arrival all the way through as published. You'll get a speed change, you might get a vector, you might get an altitude change. So it messes up your VNAV planning that the airplane computes. So by manually selecting speed, you now have full control of the speed. You can do whatever ATC wants, and you activate the approach so that when you are at 2,000 feet and you push to manage that speed again, it's already active and it comes down to it sequences down appropriately to the VFE speed, and then eventually all the way down to your VAP. So I'll talk more in detail on that. I have a video on my channel. It's a little bit outdated now, but it was the original professional series, and I talk about the decel dot and what is activate approach phase on my Airbus professional series on the approach and landing. So if you want more information, check that one out. But again, you're going to get different opinions from different companies, different operators. It's just a different method, right? In Europe, from what I understand, and I don't know if there's any Europe operators in the chat right now, but from what I've heard is it's more common than uncommon to fly the published arrival, where you actually will fly the speeds, you will fly the altitudes. In the US, I will say that it is more common that you're going to get different. You might get a descend via except maintain 330 knots, or you get a descend via except maintain 10,000, where there's so much traffic all the time. Well, this is all pre-COVID too, mind you, that it was almost more common to get some type of abstract clearance with speed and altitude than to just fly a published RNAV arrival. So by always selecting speed at 10,000 feet and activating the approach phase manually, you are consistent wherever you go. But let's see. You're a Boeing pilot now? Since when is the FCU the MCP? Yeah, I know. My bad. I knew it as soon as it came off my tongue, but I didn't say anything. I thought it would slip, but of course you got to call me out on it, man. Elias has a good question. He says, the AOC menu is the only item missing to study. How is it used all the way through the flight, or is it just for dispatch? So the AOC, or the ACARS menu, we use that throughout the entire flight. You use it for getting ADDONS. Whenever a company has to send you something, or maybe you want to send company something, if you get a reroute, if it's over a certain amount of miles laterally, you need to get authorization through dispatch. If you have maintenance items, you got to use the AOC. If you have you'll get a gate arrival information, holding information. If you have to hold, you'll calculate with dispatch what's your bingo fuel, all that stuff. So we do use the ATSU or AOC function quite a lot in real life. Now, one thing that's pretty amazing is Phantom 320 was showing me, and I saw your DMs, dude. I just didn't respond. Sorry, man. But he was flying the MD-80 for P3D, and he had a maintenance item. So he sent a message in his what MD-80 was that you were flying? Was it the like Fly of the Mad Dog, or I forget, for P3D. And he sent a message out, and he actually got a response back from the simulator saying, okay, maintenance is notified. Pretty incredible. That's just, at that point, you're really splitting hairs and looking for the ultimate detail. But, you know, the way Toliss has pumped out updates, who knows? It could be on the horizon. You guys just saw a full-blown engine failure, and everything worked pretty much as intended. So it is, yeah, I definitely classify this airplane as study-level airplane. Nate says, I've flown European VATSIM. Often they'll have you fly the whole RNP approach. Okay. Yeah, it was Leonardo Fly the Mad Dog X. That's what Phantom said. Yeah, so that's a problem. See, now Phantom is sending me all those screenshots in DM, and now I'm going to look at the Leonardo, and then I'm going to want to fly P3D, but I just... It's a challenge to run 3 sims, for sure. Especially when all your bindings aren't exactly the same, you know, for views or what have you. Are we sure that this airplane, that this approach is authorized? Let's take a look. Let's get rid of Cancun. Let's get rid of all this. MHTG. Oh, good. It's raining. Oh, 6,000. 3,000 broken to. Oh, are you serious? Are you serious? Are we even going to have the minimums to get in here? That's our arrival. RNP, we're coming from the north. This is going to be interesting. We are going to get this stream done somehow, some way. May not be strictly legal. Special aircraft, RF and GPS capability required. High terrain, all quadrants. Yeah. Oh, so the DME not authorized. VGSI and descent angle not coincident. I know that. Pilot controlled lighting. Oh man, it's the last thing I want to be doing. What are our minimums? 4429. That gets us down to 1,100 feet. So, in theory, we can see it. RNP 0.3 required. We do have that capability in the Toliss. We are RNP 3 capable. So we've got the, in theory, maybe I should have filed an alternate. There are no alternates where we're going. Oh wow, look at this. Almost oversped us too. Catching somebody there. Coming back a little bit. He's still about 8 miles in front of me. The traffic in front of me, man, my bad. I was doing like 8.2, 8.1. I've slowed up to 7.9 now, so if you're the guy that's right out in front of me, maybe consider doing 8.1 or greater. And here, we'll do this. I'm actually going to go 7. I'll do 7.9 Mach. That way you could speed up a little bit. Oh, look, we're 309, so about 50 miles we'll start prepping for the approach. What's Phantom looking at over here in his right seat? Look at this, he doesn't even have his flight plan page up. 10 for 10 fail over here on Phantom's part. You're fired, my friend. Paulo says typical crew restrictions for airports like this one and many in South America. Oh, I can imagine, dude. Oh, you're doing 7.4 because it's a flotation? Ah. Sam, are you going into Honduras?
If you want to pass me, I should be around at 32,000 feet and in a citation. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get up to 8.
All right, no worries, man. I'll just I'll let it rip here at 8.0. We'll see what happens. We'll do 8.1. We'll do 8.1 on the speed. Christian says maybe after they finish a couple more updates in the 340, they can model other stuff. They're not even modeling CPDLC. So I know there's a lot of guys asking about that CPDLC, but in all honesty, why would... I'm not saying why, but this is pretty cool. Look at this flashing. You can see the logo there on the strobe light. But if VATSIM doesn't even fully support CPDLC, then is it something that we really need in X-Plane? That's one thing that I'm kind of like, okay, I can live with it or without it, really. I think I would rather see some type of simulated ACARS function opposed to CPDLC, or like being able to just draw your flight plan straight up out of SimBrief like you can in FS 2020 now. You know, just little things like that. But I mean, I know they're super busy and they're working on the 340 and stuff too, but you got to hand it to them. They didn't give up on their first products that released. I mean, even throughout the Neo mod, they updated the 319, and they're still working on the 340. So I hand it to Toliss for a job well done, for sure. But yeah, personally, I would rather see some type of minimal ACARS simulation over a CPDLC. Gaming Ninja says Phantom is locked in the lavatory. Oh boy. Could you please show the plugins that you're using in X-Plane with the Toliss? BitKipper, so what you're looking at is 100% default X-Plane, my friend. There's no plugins for Sky or no Active Sky, no X Enviro. This is default. Everything default lighting. Now I am using the CFM Engine Mod, which is in the description. I am using... What else am I using? I think that's it. Oh, I'm using XP Realistic for vibrations, but I think I even have that disabled. Let's see. Yeah, X Enviro is off. XP Realistic is off. X Economy doesn't, but that's it, man. So there's nothing really else working. Straight up Toliss, trying to minimize anything that would cause connectivity issues with the internet. FS Labs is working ACARS? Yes, you are correct. The FS Labs is a working ACARS. Elias, yeah, I agree, man. Where is the autopilot physically located? Like the processor or PLC? Gaming Ninja, so that's going to be in your... The computers are all going to be in your avionics bay. So the forward avionics compartment is actually right up underneath the nose here. Right up in here. And you have avionics ventilation. So this is part of... Oh, no, that's a static port. Can't see the... Right here. There's a little hatch for avionics ventilation. And there's a flap that corresponds to skin temperature and whatnot. But yeah, your avionics bay is right in front of your feet. So if you were to have some type of electrical fire or electrical problem, you're going to get that up right under your feet. So you have your ventilation, blower and extract fans that we would work with. You also have the Gen 1 line. These are all stuff that I'll probably go over here in some emergency streams, but for removing smoke from the avionics bay, because that's where all your computers and all your processors are located right up front. But it's important that that bay stays cool or stays at the appropriate temperature. So we can skip through some of the eCams here. Let's take a look. Engines, right now everything is looking good. Our vibes are down. Everything looks good. Bleed page looks fine. So here we go. Inlet, outlet. So this is your avionics compartment, and I can actually override this. So if you fart or something and you need to clear out the cockpit, you can go to override here, and it'll suck all the air out. But, I mean... Oh, you hear the fan turn on. Did you hear that? Whoop! That's pretty cool. I heard that fan turn on and off. But yeah, so that's your avionics ventilation right here. We're on system 2. There's 2 separate systems, 1 and 2. Everything looks good. 3290 is our landing elevation. Okay. Continuing on here, electrical looks good. Hydraulics, very important, all in the green. Fuel is looking good and balanced. Temperatures look pretty good, actually. We'll go ahead and leave that. Everything else looks good. There's our door, Oxy 1850. All right, we're approaching 250 miles. We should probably start setting up here. I don't think I'm going to catch this flotation, so I'm going to go ahead and just go back to manage speed here. All right, let's go back to our arrival. We're almost at Corti, cross Corti above 190. Melvo is at 9,000. Okay, so MHTG runway 02 per phase. Let's go over here. Look at that line of traffic. Awesome. Hey, I'm not gonna catch you, man. So I'm just gonna slow up a little bit. Don't sweat it. All right, updated weather at 14Z. So we're gonna update that. 16Z, 360 at 10. Temperature is going to be 18, and the QNH down there is 3012. Our MDA, or decision height now, this is an RNP approach, so we're not going to add. Notice it's DA, it does not say MDA, so it's a straight up, no addition, 4429 in the baro minima. So in our airplanes, this actually says baro and radio. But 4429 is set. We do need to check our nav accuracy. So required is 1 nautical mile. We're good right now. Our nav accuracy is high. We'll see if this simulates, if it actually goes down to 0.3. Estimated 0.05. So we're good. So our GPS accuracy is fine. We're looking good there. We're 228 miles from the airport. What's our predictive GPS? MHTG. Oh, you could put the ETA in there. Interesting, and deselect that. Wow, that's actually pretty surprised to see that. I'm afraid to mess with it because I don't know, since it's a beta, if I mess too much, if I create a crash, and I don't want to do that on stream. So anyway, we'll stick with the normal stuff. That is all there. Environmentals are there. 135 for a VAP. A couple things we do have to be careful for. We have a couple max speeds here on the turn segments. Our final approach segment at or below 165 knots. So we're definitely going to be able to handle that. But our missed approach speed max is 175, so you got to be careful. If we do go missed, we can't exceed 175 knots. And the initial at 250 knots max. So we're actually going to fly this a little bit slower, be configured. I want to be configured before TG015, to be honest with you, as we start that left turn arc all the way down. That way we can just fly the airplane. So our 2,000 feet, 180 knots at flaps 2, that's going to go out the window on this approach because we are going to be this is one of those special approaches where you want to be configured a little bit early. So it is apparently authorized at night. Hopefully Dimitri's scenery that he sent me a long time ago has lighting for nighttime. Transition altitude is flight level 190 as indicated here on the chart right here. And that's it. We're going to do auto brakes medium, full reverse. All right. Christian says baro and radio shows up when you are in metric? Really? Really? It does? Like if I'm in this configuration over here with, where was I? Imperial. So if I said no, it would do baro radio. Interesting. Can you explain the re-engage LNAP? I didn't mean to say re-engage. I said I want to be configured and stable before TG, what is it? Oh wait, no, you're asking a different question. Oh, re-engage LNAV by TG01. So if you go missed, what they want you to do here, because it's an RNP approach, that's too loud out there for my ears. Now, I don't know if this is a company-specific thing here, but I imagine that it's pretty standard across the board. Because of the RNP requirement and the RNP approach on a missed here, they want the autopilot actually flying this missed approach. So re-engage LNAV by TG011, that's your missed, you're on the missed approach right there. So you come in, you're at TG011, you don't see the airport, it's time to get out, re-engage LNAV, and on the way. Now, I don't even think it would be legal to hand fly this. That would be in your special procedures, your special crew, special training, special aircraft and aircrew authorization required. So if you were authorized to hand fly the RNP, but I doubt it, so you'd probably have to keep the autopilot on. I'm probably going to try to hand fly it because I think it's more fun and we're in the sim world. But because it has that re-engage LNAV, I would imagine it is possible to hand fly this, but they just want you on the mist. If you're on the mist, it's a very narrow window through here, through this terrain. They want the LNAV flying the airplane. So that's all that note means there. It's on an RNP, they want the LNAV flying it. Flight level 20 was the transition level 19. That was for TA. That was TA. Did I mess that up? Let me see. Trans altitude 200. You are correct, sir. Good catch there. Crisis averted. Flight level 200 set. So it did auto. That's pretty cool. It actually auto checked it. Yeah, trans flight level 200. Trans altitude 19,000. Cool deal, man. Good catch there as well. All right, we are approaching Corti. We'll start down just after Corti. We are going to be config full. Our VAP is 135, so we're totally set up. Outer fuel transferred, 60's 200 pounds. How are we looking on gas? On landing, we're 4.1, so that looks good. We're looking good. Oh, that's kind of a cool shot there. Jordan Rankin, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Thank you for joining the channel, dude. Exclamation point, welcome. For more information on your perks, essentially, if you're a Discord user, you can sync your Discord to your YouTube, and then you'll gain access to the V1 After Dark channel in the Discord channel, which is available to everybody. But if you have a question for me, I try to stay on that channel as much as I can with responding to questions and things like that. And what I am going to do, as I'm back to work this year and I'm excited, I'm going to be posting more. I know you guys want to see more photos and stuff. Someone actually had a good idea about overnights, like posting updates on the overnights and good overnights versus bad overnights. So I will be posting more of my real world adventures in that V1 After Dark section for the members only. So you guys get to look forward to that. But Jordan Rankin, again, thank you for joining the channel, man. Welcome aboard. Kept Tom, you always hand fly it. Dougal says, this is my all-time favorite approach. Excellent, Dougal. We might have to visit it again, Dougal. If I can get, well, I gotta find it. If we can do like a Simwing stream during the week, maybe, because the weekend is just, it's too inconsistent because everybody's home and then that tower is packed, and I feel like I have most internet woes during the weekends, so I try not to stream over the weekend. But if we can find a way to do another Simwing stream, maybe we'll go into Honduras again. Maybe we'll leave Honduras or do a turn out of there in FS 2020. I still haven't seen it in FS 2020. I'm curious to see what the scenery is like. Fubar says, pretty impressive for stock X-Plane graphics. Yeah, I agree, man. There you go. Dude has got to join the Simwings VFR group flight around the Patagonian ice fields of Chile. Ooh, Saturday, February 13th at 1900 Z. Well, as of now, Dougal, I do not believe I have any commitments. I say that lightly, but I'm pretty sure I know I have something on the 6th, which is the week before. But I would love to join. I don't know if I can join. I don't know if I want to commit to being a primary streamer for that, because I just would feel terrible if the internet wasn't working. But I will definitely try to join at the very least, Dougal, for the Patagonian Icefield group flight. That sounds pretty sweet. Anthony says, happy you're back at work, but really miss how often I was streaming. You know, a lot of it has to do with, you know what, the internet too. I mean, if I could stream anytime and I knew anytime I could set a stream that I'd have no internet problems, I think I'd be able to get more content out there. But because I have to plan around non-peak times, it makes it harder, man. But I do have hope for 2021. I am set up for Starlink to notify me. A couple of you guys mentioned Starlink to me, and I think Starlink is exactly what I need for internet. And if they said 2021, early 2021, they should have most of the U.S. covered. So let's fingers crossed for that. Fingers crossed for Elon Musk shooting rockets up, pulling them out of his garage. I mean, the guy's unreal, dude. There's like rockets every other day going up into space. So once I get the stable internet back and we're back in 1080p, I'll definitely try to bring more content out. We should do it in King Air, said Team Vodka. Yeah, it got to be some type of PT6. Dougal says, DM me later. We'll talk. You got it, bud. Trading Pilot says, the only flyable airplane FS 2020, working title CJ4. I hear a lot about that airplane. I'm going to have to try it, man. I'm going to have to try that working title Citation jet. And what I might even try to do is set up, like, kind of finish the corporate pilot series, even though I didn't fly the CJ4. That's what it is, right? CJ4. I might still be able to learn enough of the airplane and finish up that corporate pilot series. I fell out of love with that one, and I don't know. Long story. I don't want to get into it. But anyway. Arian, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Another member to the channel. Thank you for joining, dude. Again, exclamation point welcome. If you need any more information on your perks, glad to have you aboard, Arian. Cheers. Captain Tom says, I love Elon and what he's doing with SpaceX. I know, dude. It's unreal. It is absolutely unreal what SpaceX is doing and what they're able to accomplish. D says the FS 2020 scenery should be pretty good. I might have to check it out later today even. I'd be very, very curious. Diego says, how do you know when to start descent and what vertical speed you have to be at? So that'll depend on your airplane and your descent, but in the Airbus, make it very easy for you. So this little arrow right here, that is a planned VNAV descent point already calculated for you. So in this airplane, it's very simple. Ideally, what we like to do here is start down about 5 miles prior. So if I go to my cruise page here, pull this up. So it says to top of descent, 82 miles. That's this little marker here. Now, in real life, you may get stepped down from air traffic control or what have you. But this is only as good as what you have in the box. So if you don't have any altitudes or any arrival loaded up, this may be skewed a little bit. So if you don't have any arrival or anything loaded up, or maybe you're even flying a less advanced airplane where you don't have a top of descent calculator that makes it really easy, a basic rule of thumb for you is to make sure that you get your airplane at 10,000 feet and 250 knots about 30 miles from the airport. It doesn't matter what airport you're going into, and this is mostly for jet aircraft. The turboprop, you can probably go a little bit closer because you can really slow down, dive and drive a turboprop. But generally speaking, for jets, if you're at 30 miles from the airport of intended landing, 250 knots at 10,000 feet, you're going to be able to have a nice stable descent all the way in. Now, how do you calculate that point? Pretty simple. You take your cruise altitude. So, for example, let's say we're flying a different airplane, but we're at 30,000 feet. I want to be at 10,000 feet, right at 30 miles. So I take my cruise altitude minus that 10,000 foot altitude I just said. The difference is 20,000 feet. Multiply it by 3. That's 6 with the 0, 60 miles. So at 60 miles out, I need to start a 3-degree descent path down. And a 3-degree descent path, if you don't have an FPA angle, FPA, you can actually calculate vertical speed if you want. But I would start out with that between 1,800 and 2,400 feet per minute is probably somewhere in that range is going to be enough to get you down relatively stable depending on your ground speed. It's all going to depend on your ground speed and your winds aloft. But again, plan to be 10,000 feet, 30 miles from your airport. A good starting point or starting window for vertical speed for a 3-degree path is going to be anywhere between 1,800 feet and 2,400 feet per minute. You're just going to have to kind of mess with it a little bit. Now, there are formulas you can calculate it out to the T if you would like, but that's just ballpark, right? We're pilots. We like to keep it simple, ballpark numbers. Do you have access from the flight deck to the electronics bay in the 320 family, or is it just accessible on the ground from the outside? I'm not going to answer that just for security reasons. I will tell you, though, that if you accidentally lock the cockpit door and you lock yourself out of the cockpit and you're on the ground, there is a way to stick a pole through the floor and unlock the door, so that's kind of interesting. But we try to avoid. I avoid anything that can remotely get into the aviation safety. I don't discuss any cockpit door operation. I don't discuss any real safety procedures during stream. So, how strict are the vision requirements to be an airline pilot? It depends on what country. For the U.S., you got to have 2020 or corrected to 2020, I believe. So you can wear lenses, you can wear glasses, as long as it's corrected vision. All right, we are getting ready to start down here. We are 137 miles out, so it seems like we're getting really close. But the thing is, the terrain is so high down there, that's why. You know, we're landing at, what, 3,000 foot field elevation? Yeah, landing elevation is 3,100 feet, so combine that with the terrain that's all around here. I mean, you got 7,000 foot peaks, so we're a little bit lower than you might think. One thing that I like about this, too, is I think Toliss, did they fix... Yeah, so now, instead of having that, was it that pink blob for ground radar? Yeah, it looks a little bit better to me. Don't have that weird illusion. In the real airplane, you can go out to 320 miles with terrain radar on. I think it's just a sim limitation. Right now, it's capped at about 80 miles. Well, this is actually going out to 120, so. All right. Let's take a look at this. We know we can go all the way down to 7,000. That's what I'm going to set. I could technically set 67, 76, but I'm going to set 7,000. And you know what? I'm actually going to back it up. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to set Melvo at or above 9. I'm going to set 9,000 first. I'm going to set 9,000 for Melvo, just so we don't end up getting too low here. And I'm going to hard tune Toncontin TNT for this. Let's see here. Since we are fully RNAV though, but I want to have full-blown hard nav from TNT. So we're going to go TNT, hard tune U. So now you can see I've got hard tune needles on one. I've got bearing and distance on my ND now. That will not change. The VOR2 will continue to auto tune. Everything else looks good. I think we're pretty much set up for this approach, guys. Highest altitude, so I am working on a chart series, decoding all these charts. Whenever Jeppesen makes it really easy, when you're looking for the highest terrain on a chart, look for this big black arrow right here. And this is the highest terrain elevation on this chart. Now, there could be higher terrain off of the chart, but right here, 7,600 feet. So this looks like that Melvo turn inbound. You want to make sure you actually make the turn at Melvo. And also when you're on your go-around or your missed approach, you want to make sure you're scooting out and staying clear of that terrain to the northeast of the airport there. All right, everything else looks good. I'm going to start us down about 10 or so prior. I'm getting a little concerned on our fuel burn numbers here. 4.1 on landing. I guess we're okay. Just seems so low. Wasn't the 3-degree glide slope divided by 2 times 10, and that gives you feet per minute? Christian, I avoided it because I didn't remember what it was. So I didn't want to lie to you guys and give you the wrong formula. I'd have to check it out. It's it's ground speed divided by 2. Someone will know. Wojtek, what's up, man? He says, I had this kind of instruction from ATC. Cross at flight level 100, 35 miles south of the airport. Wojtek, that's a very common clearance that you can get if you're flying late at night in the real world or something, and they just want you to go direct. In the Airbus, it's very easy. What you do, go to your, well, actually, we got to start down here. Go to your fix info page, rad nav, and for instance, I'll just show you exactly what you do. MHTG. And then they said 35 miles, so then make a radius 35 miles. And now what happens is I've just drawn this 35-mile radius from MHTG. Since I'm on a VNAV arrival here, I'm not going to do it. I'm actually going to start down now. We'll go ahead and manage our descent. Mock descent, down we go. So I'm not going to do this, but what you should do is now if you click this again, if I were to press this button right here, we're at 35 miles, it's going to create a waypoint on my flight plan. And actually, I think I can still do it. Let's see. Yeah, see? So there's my distance, 35 miles from MHT. I'm going to insert that. Oh, it wants me to select heading track first because I'm navigating. It's the point between me and that point. So let's just go ahead and erase it. So if there's no other waypoints between you and that point, you have to pull heading first before you insert it because you're navigating to it. But once you insert that waypoint, then you just come over here and put in your altitude constraint at that new waypoint you made. That is the easiest way in the Airbus to comply with one of those clearances where they say cross XX miles from XX waypoint at X altitude. Put it in your fix info page, create the waypoint, and then put an altitude constraint on it, and then you will have a top of descent window, you have a top of descent calculation, you'll have everything set up just like it was a VNAV arrival going down. So that's the easiest way in the Airbus to handle that situation. Now, if you're really smart with math, you can just do a quick calculation too. You can take the distance of where you are, where that point is, and then do it that way. 3-to-1 rule, but I like to do it simple way. We'll do low lights here in the cockpit. Hey, what's your speed in the descent up there for the citation?
Right now, 303 and increasing.
Okay, we'll just maintain. We'll maintain 290 knots in the descent. How's that?
That should work fine.
I'm gonna force it over to IAS speed by hitting that speed Mach indicator there, and now I'm gonna select 290. He's gonna be doing that way. We got good spacing now. He's still, 15 miles or so in front of me. So I just want to make sure I don't gain on him. So by doing that, I'm going to slow up to 290. I think we still have that heavy behind us, and we got a couple guys behind us. We're looking good here. Pretty good spacing. He's got plenty of spacing on me. Whoever 1, 2, 3 is a little bit tight on that guy, but I think y'all be fine. This is going to be interesting coming down here at night, though. I was planning a nice sunset arrival. Dougal, take it easy, man. Bail before landing. Sorry, I'll catch up. Take it easy, Dougal. Speak to you later, my friend. Captain Geo, what is up, man? Good to see you here, Geo. How you doing, man? Just in time for the landing, my friend. Oh, Wojtek, you were flying the A300. I think you can still do it in the 300, Wojtek. I think you can use the fix info page. someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, Phantom, are you in the chat? Does the 300 have the fixed info page? You may have to do it old school, Wojtek, if it doesn't have that fixed info page. I just saw the Pan Am livery was released. I'm gonna go ahead and go constraint mode here. So we're gonna be in the A300 here very soon. I'll go below mode on the TCAS. And we're looking good. Do you guys want to see this approach at night, or do you want me to back up the time to sunset? Let me know in the chat. Do you want sunset, or do you want to just risk it and go in there full-blown nighttime IMC? Where can you find the hob hours or engine hours? That's going to be in the maintenance function of the McDo. They can pull out all the times there. There's no traditional Hobbs meter like you're referring to, like in a GA aircraft. I don't believe, it's Airbus, so there's options for everything. But in what I've seen, I don't believe there is no like actual meter for the engine in the cockpit. You'd pull it up through the McDo or digitally, or perhaps there's even one on the engine itself, maybe, but I wouldn't know. That'd be something I'd have to ask the mechanic. Sunset, nighttime, sunset, nighttime. A lot of sunsets. The nighttime times. Night is what it is. Oh, that's pretty split, 50-50. I kind of want to see both. Night IMC. It's literally a tie. Like, you guys are literally... what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it up just a tiny bit. Like, just so we can see some terrain. How's that? 2330? Because it's going to be darker by the time we get down there. How's that? Try to get best of both worlds. Because I kind of like seeing the terrain as well. It's literally, it almost seems like it's a straight up a tie. Backing up time and X-Plane seems so taboo. Alright, I backed it up just a little bit. So originally, I wanted to land at 2330 because that's when I calculated it was a nice evening approach or sunset approach. So right now we're 15 minutes past that. So it'll still be pretty much dark. Land at night, then back it up for the replay. We've done sunset into here. We did do a sunset into here. We're getting a little fast on that speed. I'm going to go ahead and crack the speed brakes. Did I donate $1 to myself? Yeah. Yeah, so I was testing the PayPal link. I was trying to switch it over, switch accounts on the PayPal link, and I had no other way to test it except donate to myself. So I donated myself $1. I saw that earlier. I thought it was pretty funny, too, on one of the replays. Fubar says, I used to like the thought of night flights, but I've come around to you and XP72's notion that it's not fun to fly around and not see anything. So, the thing is, in the sim, it's really hard. Like, night flying in real life, I think, is a lot of fun. What is the 3009? What's our meter? It was 3012. So in real life, I like it, but in the sim, it's so dark. It's just so dark in the sim. So we're actually going to dial back to 250 now. 250 was max at Melville. I'm going to set 250 now, just before Talag. But it's almost too dark, you know. And for streaming purposes, you guys, who wants to look at a black screen of instruments, right? Yes, this is the CFM Engine Mod takeoff thrust. Yes, it is. Link is in the description. The paint kit, excuse me, from what I understand, is pretty hard to work with, so that's why we don't have the proper painted engines on here right now. But supposedly there's a update coming for that. But a lot of people wanted to see them, so I went ahead and just ran the update. Plus, I think it's kind of good to check, when you're on a beta branch, like I check everything default, and then I load everything in there that I have. I load up the BSS, I load up the engine mod, just to see if anything doesn't work anymore with the newest update coming. Does the 319 beta update put it a level field to the 321 or ahead on the new features? Oh, we didn't even go over the changelog. Real quick, I'm going to just read through some of the changelog here. I think it puts it at and or slightly ahead because now you can flight plan through a discontinuity. You can get information through a disco. So I kind of went over a lot of it yesterday. Major new features: the option to use imperial units for the FMGS, weights and cabin temperatures, complete rework of engine failure handling, ECAM actions and speed target rework, and the beta target has been added. So that's for a failure stream. We'll talk about that more. So those are the two major features. New features that are minor: improved lateral control laws for better handling during an engine failure, which I gotta say, that engine failure handled pretty good. Added injected faults to situation save. So if you have faults injected and you want to save a situation, you can now do that. Complete rework for managed speed computation for a given cost index during climb phase. So it's a little bit more tweaked. It doesn't just run 99 or 0. It actually has a little bit more of a managed speed computation for a given different cost indexes during climb, which I think is important because remember I used to say that it just didn't climb right at higher cost indexes. I think that has been tweaked a little bit now where it's a little bit better. I'd have to honestly do more test flights with it. We didn't climb very high. We only went up to 30,000 on this flight. Retuning of the fuel burn for the existing engines, the IAE and the CFM. Rework of the EWD for better accuracy of the representation. Livery-specific configuration items can now be done via livery configuration file. Added support for missed approaches, for approaches with missed approach points between the missed approach point and the runway. Like this one is an example. We have a missed approach point between the aircraft's present position and the runway. So this loads properly in the box now. Before this update, you might have a bug loading this up here because there's a missed approach point before the runway. So that it used to kind of throw it for a little bit of a loop. But that's been fixed. Oil quantity now decreases when engine is running and increases when engine is stopped, and all the oil accumulates in the sump. Crew oxygen is now consumed if you breathe through the oxygen mask. Aircraft registration is now a separate object, CellCal object. Added minimum callouts 100 above for MDA and baro minima, which we got. And then there's a slew of bug fixes. A lot of ILS tuning, localizer, glide slope tracking and tuning. ILS frequency is no longer deleted when entering go-around phase. Improved JIP-Wiz mode 2 silences the false warnings. A lot of times you used to get a terrain warning like going into San Diego. Fixed an issue for X-Plane 10. During takeoff in SRS mode, magenta bug now remains on the V2 mark, but the autopilot controls pitch to achieve the V2 plus or minus 20 with all engines operating. Smart co-pilot synchronization of the McNews, and there's a bunch more, but there, a lot of it is a little bit tuning related items. So totally wish we went over that earlier, but you get the gist of it. I do think this update brings the 319 to the 321 level, if not slightly above, just because I'd have to check. But can you see your time and distance and fuel through a disco in the 321? I cannot remember. But I know you can do it in the 319 now. So there's 10,000 feet, 250. We got to start slowing up now. I'm going to come all the way back to 180 now. We got to be ahead of the game here. I'm going to go ahead and select speed. We are in selected speed, and we're going to activate the approach phase. So this is the activation phase for the approach over here, that big D. But we're going to do it early. We're going to confirm and activate it. So we now have the brick vertical deviation is on the PFD now, and down we go. It's virtually nighttime, so best of both worlds. Novo 250 out above 9, we're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach now. We're app nav alt final. I'm going to go ahead and set 7,000 now. Alt magenta for a 9,000 restriction here at Melvo. Now this airplane won't go into final lap until you reach a bold section of the approach. So TG015 is where you would actually get that final lap. We can set, I think we can set 4,200 feet now. 4,200 is blue. 8,000 magenta. 250 knots max. I'm going to go ahead and speed brake. I'm going to come back to 180. We want to get ahead of the airplane here. We're trying to get ahead of the airplane now. VFE next minus 10, flaps 1. I'm going to come all the way back to 180. Alt constraint at or above 8,000 for TG017. VFE next, minus 10. We'll extend flaps 2. Oops, I moved the thrust levers. There we go. Alright, here we go. We're going in full RNAV mode. It is IMC, so I'm going to be in sterile cockpit, guys. I'll be ignoring the chat here for the approach. Enjoy the landing. Hopefully our engines are running the whole time here. Alright, we're 7.7. We got a constraint at 7,000. TG015, let's go ahead and manage. Gear down. VFE next minus 10, flaps 3. Come on, hit it. There we go, final lap, VFE next, minus 10 flaps, full landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, auto thrust, speed, ECAM memo, standing by. We're waiting for our landing memo here. We gotta get down below 2,000 RA. We could manually do it. Landing gear down, flaps full, spoilers armed. Landing checklist complete. We are in final lap mode, and there is not much to see. So we are full-blown RNAV, RNP. Ooh, I need to check that. Required 0.3. We're estimated 0.05, so we are meeting our RNAV requirements. Remember, it was 0.3 required. We are at 0.5, so we are looking good. Speed, final lap, landing checklist complete. We are ready to do this. If I don't see the runway here, we're gonna have to do a go around though, and that would not be very fun. So let's hopefully that doesn't happen. Paolo, you said you got an engine failure? Or how will the... So I'm getting radio static because I'm descending down into the mountains. He just declared an emergency for United. Oh boy. You running CFM engines?
2,500.
MHTG traffic, Mexicana 319. We are on the RNAV RNP 02 approach, 7 miles south of the airport, Tonkan. I don't know if it's Tonkan traffic, MHTG traffic. Look, this is freaking sketch. I'm not even going to turn the... I want to see how this airplane flies. This is, we got replay, so it'll be okay. We can see all the wing views in replay. I want to just see this. So TG012, we're in the left turn arc, 55.9. We're looking good. We're looking good. Starting to see that yellow terrain. We're at 2,000 feet now. Should have done that earlier. Are we not going to break out here? What is going on? Ah, look at that. Autopilot off. I'm going to hand fly this now. Flight director's off. Give me the bird. Give me the bird in chat, guys. I need bird. Maximum birds. Maximum birds for that approach. How sick is that? Well, look at that. We broke out here. Nice little crosswind right on the RNAV track. There's the airport over there. All right, let's not get carried away. So, approach lights in sight. We're going to continue down. That was epic. I was starting to get a little bit nervous there. Solid IMC down to 2,000 feet above the ground on an RNP. Well, I'm going to just leave the auto thrust do its thing, but we're going to hand fly this. And we'll check out all the wing views in replay. Love replay mode. We'll go ahead and set go around altitude 9,000 feet.
1,000.
Going altitude set 9,000 blue.
100 above.
Runway in sight. Over there. Off my left.
Minimum.
Landing. But this, I mean, I'm looking at that RNP, that vertical deviation brick here. It's working perfectly past, like it's working just like it should. So it's good to see that they got that tweaked. All right, here comes that turn. We got a 10-knot wind from the left, so you really want to make sure you don't get pushed over. Oh, don't get high there. Keep coming down. Now we'll probably see 4 reds here. We got a non-coincident path. But we're following our brick down. We're looking good, coming right over the road. Look at this turn. This is awesome. Hit the like button for this turn on final. All right, here we're going to come into that headwind now.
200.
Working that bank. I'll drag it in. We're looking good.
50, 40, 30, 20,
Retard.
10,
5.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel. 112. That is a butter. Certified butter. 70 knots. Manual brakes. That was sweet. 30 feet above threshold. That's normal for this approach. 112 on the landing. And it just went full dark. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Honduras. Hit the like button for that. If you don't hit the like button for that, I mean, what do you want to hit the like button for? Toncon traffic, Mexicana 319, we're clear of active runway, taxi in terminal, Honduras. Or Toncon, I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying Toncon correct. Whoo! Let's go ahead and clean up the airplane now. Get her straight here with my pseudo yoke tiller. All right. We finally made it. We'll get the APU fired up here. Wow. Brakes hot. Yeah, I think so too, man. Probably after that. Can we have a look at the new wheels on the 319? You got it, man. Yep, they are a little bit larger. Spot the other fixes. Yeah, we'll take a look at it, man. So I'm wondering where that United is. He's coming in single engine. We'll go ahead and fire up the APU. Oh, I left my crossbleed open the whole time from our engine failure. I like the scenery though. The scenery is awesome. All right, we'll clean up that. Phantom is still forgetting to do all his flows over here. Left the radar on, left PWS on. Come on, man. Hey, there's our cactus. Whew. Where are we going to park? We'll park right next to this other 319. Category D aircraft. C and D aircraft over here at stand 2. I'm just waiting to see somebody come in over the turn there. APU is up and running. We're going to let both engines run into the gate here, trying to get that cool down. Let's see, I wanted to see if anybody, so we got somebody on short final right now. Oh, I'm looking for traffic and I almost taxied into the jet bridge. When will this update be available to the public? It should be, somebody said it should be later today. I don't know if that's true or not. I have not heard officially, but I imagine it's pretty soon because everything seems to be working pretty good. I wanted to see, did we miss his landing? Oh, there he comes, there he comes. Check this out. Here comes another plane on the approach right here. I believe this is the United with a single engine. How do I use the bird for approach? I will do a full-blown bird tutorial video, man. I'll do a full-blown bird tutorial. Here comes this traffic here on the turn in. Look at this. This is a cool shot here. Looking good. I can't tell if he's high or not. It might just be my angle. Oh, it looks really high. Oh no, that's right. We got a big displaced threshold. Well, no, is he going around? I think he's going around. He's going around. Is he doing a go-around single engine? I think he's doing a go-around. Yep, gear's going up. He's going around. Wow. That was cool. All right, brakes set, APU is up. Let's shut it down. APU bleed can come on. Seatbelt sign off. KGB light, let's go ahead and turn that on. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally made it. One engine failure later. 2 streams, 1 engine failure later. We finally made it. Beacon light can come off. Welcome to Honduras. Cross-check and all call. They're going to D-plane. All right, anybody else on the approach? We got, he went around. Got one more guy out there on the approach somewhere. How do I call this jet bridge? Before I see the replay here, I want to, is that Sam? Yeah. Did I not park in the right spot? Huh. I don't know why it won't connect. Anyway, oh, there's that traffic over there. There's a Church's Chicken and a Burger King and a Pizza Hut. We got traffic way out there. We'll see this guy make this a turn in here, and then we'll watch our replay. Whew. That was pretty sweet, though. I gotta say, that approach coming in here, you guys wanted to see it at night. I mean, that was pretty cool. Are the engines changed? Vip, this is the CFM Engine Mod, my friend. CFM Engine Mod. Can I show my X-Plane 11 settings? Yeah, I could show them here real quick while we wait for him to land. So, graphics, this is what I'm running for streams. And you can snap that if you want. I want it to bug out the... is this the heavy? Let's see if we can catch up to him. And then we'll go back to the airport view. Ralph says, thanks for this great stream. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We're going to check our replay out here. Don't worry. I just want to see this guy, see how he does on his approach. I think... it's another Airbus. Oh, this is kind of cool, though. Like, we're seeing him coming in. He just broke out. Let's go to our tower view. We'll watch him from the tower view. There he goes. Thank you, Greatest Man. I appreciate it, man. We just stream a flight to Pero. Yes, at some point we are going to Pero. We are definitely going to do it, man. We are definitely going to go to Pero. If your company were to start flying in the continent, would you volunteer for certification? You know it, dude.
Traffic United 576, we are approaching Melbourne now. The intentions are to come back for another approach. Top 19, we are still with one engine only.
That guy, dude, hats off to you, man. A single engine approach into here and a go around. Look at this guy making this turn here. It's the second bird coming in. Who made the scenery? This was put together by Dimitri. I am Dimitri. Actually put this together a while ago and gave it to me. I just haven't been back here in a while. So this is a custom scenery from him. I don't believe it's publicly available. Man. First flight to Tegucigalpa. Isn't that where we are? Tegucigalpa? Look at that. Nice approach there, man. Made the turn. Oh, yeah. You butter it out. That seemed pretty darn smooth as well. Nice work, man. That looked really stable. All right, let's check out the replay. I'm going to throw you guys into replay mode. We're going to go ahead and disconnect from the VATSIM. Make sure nobody's on short final. Nope. Godspeed United with the engine failure. We're going to disconnect and toggle replay mode. Let's back it up. I'm going to close that off and get off the screen there so I can see. We're going to back. Oh, perfect. Let's go ahead and start it. I'm going to turn my lights back on. Let's watch this from the left engine view here, shall we? What night lighting mod do I use? I used to use the TK light mod. I used to use the TK light mod. I don't believe that may still be working. It could be working. Fubar says, awesome stream, V1. Good luck with all the simulator stuff this week. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. We'll catch you next time, dude. We're just going to check out a few replays here. I want to see. That was definitely a butter touchdown. 112. Look at this shot coming around. That was the perfect timing. It was basically night as well. It was basically nighttime here on this approach. One thing I do like about that CFM engine mod is nice and clean here around the edges, nice and sharp. I imagine that's pretty hard to do because I see a lot of engines where it's really hard to keep a nice clean lip. I don't know anything about modeling, but I imagine that's pretty challenging to do. Oh, that was a greaser. There's your CFM buckets. That one says 124, but I call fake news. It was 112 initially. Oh, man, that was a good one. Let's go ahead and back it up a little bit more. Let's watch it from... we'll just watch this touchdown here. I like to see the spoilers deploy. Takeoff Thrust. What's up, man? He says, thanks for streaming my CFM mod. New update shortly. Takeoff Thrust. Awesome, dude. So you're the CFM mod creator? Awesome, dude. I'm enjoying it, man. I think it looks really sharp, my friend. We'll be eagerly anticipating the update. Oh, yeah. Nice touchdown. Here's our Florence kit. Aileron, ground spoiler deploys. All right, let's watch our touchdown here from this view. We'll watch this one here. We'll watch a runway view. We'll start getting the music going. I mean, that was stable. That might be one of my top 5 approaches. And where did we touch? No float, right on that second marker. Oof, let's take a look from the runway. That one, it just felt good. It felt stable. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with a few more replays here as I head out. Thank you so much for your patience, guys. I know yesterday was tough. We had to postpone. We had an engine failure today on our first takeoff. Thank you for tuning in on this Sunday afternoon. If you do like this video, please hit the like button for me on the way out. It helps the channel, helps YouTube get the video out there in its algorithms. Thank you, mods, for moderating the channel. Sponsors, we got a lot of new members today. Appreciate you guys joining the membership program. Look forward to having some membership exclusive content coming at you very soon. Donations, everybody who donated today, thank you very much as well. Really appreciate your support here on the channel. Special shout out to Q8 Pilot if you're still hanging around. All-time legend, YouTube content creator. Everyone else just hanging out with me in chat, I love you guys just as much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Until next time, I'm V1. Stay safe, stay healthy. See ya!